Hello, folks. This is Barry Moore at the Better Business Bureau. We're at the Ignite Sparked by BBB podcast studios right here on Cox Road. It is probably the nicest podcast studio, and our two guests will tell us if they agree or don't agree.
Barry's the nicest podcast studio I have ever been in.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for those accolades. It was my design. Anyway, we're going to talk to two folks that the one I've gotten to know really, really well, and I'll tell you why later on. And the other one, Nat, I've really got to respect over the last 2 months, getting to know him. But we're going to talk about 212 Referral Network, and we're going to let ladies go first. Is that okay?
Sure.
So we'll go with Stacy. Introduce yourselves. Tell us the color of your brand, because nobody can see it, and tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you so much, Barry. Well, my name is Stacy Spear. I am the owner of S&S Painting. We've been in business for 22 years, interior house painting business. Our color is lime green, not forest green, not tree green, lime green. And we wear it every day. We love it. Everything we own is lime green. The inside of my house is not lime green, though. People ask me that. It could be.
It should be.
No,
if it was my house, I would do it. You know that.
Well, yes. Sometimes you have to.
But Barry, for the people who aren't here, you need to know that her shirt is lime green. The case for her iPhone is lime green. Her whatever water cooler thing is lime green, and then the case for her iPad is also lime green. So it's all out here. And the top to her other Yeti thing over there. So
this wasn't about Stacy. I was going to go on to you also. And we want to talk about 212, but I'm going to get personal again with Stacy. I never thought to ask you this. And you've painted the Better Business Bureau office. You are an accredited business, but also you've painted for Mary Lou now, I think 2 times maybe, and
yes.
Third time's coming. And we have a brand new house. So we'll talk about that later, Nat. But do you wear the same green when you guys go out as a family at night and the weekends? I've never gone out socially with you.
I know. I don't. And when people don't recognize me, so when they see me, they're like, oh, I didn't recognize you. I didn't see the green.
Jeez.
So, no, I don't. Sometimes I do have green shirts that are unbranded, so I do wear those occasionally, but typically, no.
I thought that was a personal question, but thanks for answering it.
Yeah.
But I think, Nat, I want you to introduce yourself. But after sitting through the 212 meeting today, that's 1 hour, and you presented today. Your wife was here, your team's here. I think I know more about Nat than you know about, because I really got into your story and who you are. But tell us who you are.
So, Barry, I'm Nat. I'm a realtor with Realty Richmond, also an accredited business. Have been doing it 9 years. I want to go back, if I can, just the history between Stacy and I, because it goes back to, we have 30-ish year old, early 30s sons, and Stacy and I were in Sunday school together, and the boys were running around in diapers at the time. So I've known Stacy that long. We ended up teaching a 3-year-old,
3 and 4-year-old
Sunday school class, which was way, way, way out of anything I was trying to do. But there was a calm moment at one point, and Stacy was like, "I would love to refer business to you, but I'm in this networking group and it has a realtor, and I can't refer business to you." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." And personally for me, networking means you go to a happy hour, you're walking in and you're handing out business cards. And she said this was way different. A couple of weeks later, she said, "Hey, guess what? The realtor left our group." I went to the next meeting, and after that meeting, I said, "Sign me up," because I felt there was something different with the 212 model and how they do it. So that was our journey, and that was probably back in 2018, 2019 when that started.
So it's a while, yeah. So let's talk about what is 212. I believe, as you know, I've already said this, I'm a funny guy, as you know. I think you guys are 213 versus all the other 212s out there, but I'm not a member of 212, so I'm not being, I'm not breaking the code.
Right.
But explain what 212 is.
Well, 212 is a referral networking organization where a group of like-minded individuals get together for an hour once a week and we tell our story. We pass referrals to each other, and then when we receive a referral, we make sure to take care of that client, whomever they may be. And so it's a way to make sure of a couple things. One, to make sure that your customer or client is being taken care of by somebody you know personally, and so there's a vested interest there, and you know they're not going to be taken advantage of. And two, that you don't have to, I mean, you still have to advertise, but this is a way of getting your name out to a larger group of people who can then refer you out. And so the steamrolling of it all happens organically.
Yeah, so the name 212 comes from the fact that that's boiling water, and when water boils, you create that steam, and then steam drives business. Steam drives the engine. At 111 or 211 degrees, you just have hot water. So what the founders of the organization have tried to do is just set higher standards on how we conduct ourselves in the meetings. But with higher standards is also, let's have fun with this, right? Let's enjoy our company, and let's help each other out. The thing that I get out of it is, we have a structured meeting. We're in and out within an hour. We learn more about each other, but then we also take time outside of the meeting to get to know each other personally and professionally, right? And like Stacy is saying, it's much easier for me if I'm in a conversation with somebody talking about painting the interior of their house to say, man, I got this great company. They do great work. I will introduce you to them, versus Stacy standing there saying, well, I'm a painter. Let me paint your house.
Right. I got to tell you, I think I told you both this. Nat Fam, probably whenever this started, met at the car dealership I was at in our showroom. I used to get in early to sit in with them. And it was interesting. It was the beginning of something over a decade ago, to see where it is today with your group. Now, I've visited other ones. You guys, I always say this, and I don't say this very often, but you guys are genuinely different, and I get a different feel. And it's obviously I'm a raving fan for S&S Painting. That helps, and that brings, if they're her friends, they're my friends, right, Stacy? So you all walk in, and I want to trust everybody that I'm in a room with and learn from. So Crystal is now a member of 212, and she is the general manager here at the Better Business Bureau. And I'm not a big networking fan, and Stacy finally sat me down. She listened to me about the BBB and on accreditation, and in return, I listened to her, and she pointed out the benefits of the networking group. And I think when I'm watching Crystal develop as a young person in the becoming an executive with the BBB, when I retire, hopefully, time will tell. But I think the networking group, if she's going to get there, it's going to be because of you guys. So what makes that happen?
Well, a couple of different things. One, just an aside note, I think everybody should be an accredited member of the Better Business Bureau. The amount of opportunities that you give us is incredible, and I think it is unknown out there. So just a little plug for the Better Business Bureau, and I know you didn't ask me to do that, but I just think it's incredible. But we meet to talk about our businesses, but we also meet to talk about how to do things. So I've met with other business owners saying, look, we're having problems with this on our balance sheet or this on our profit and loss. What do you do? What do you do to handle these kind of challenges? And so it's not just about referring business to each other. It's also about sharing our ideas. What works for us marketing-wise? What works for us personnel-wise? So it's a whole lot more. And that's where a whole lot more than just referring business. But that is done through connections that you're making in the group itself. And so having those biz chats, those one-on-one meetings, very important to understand, even getting to know people's background. Like Nat said, by the way, Nat didn't tell you this, but when we were teaching...
Tell me more.
I know. When we were teaching Sunday school, this is going to be hard for people to imagine, but I was in charge of the classroom and what we did in the classroom. But we always had Bible time, and guess who read from the Bible?
Nat.
Only Nat. And then when it was God's turn to talk in the Bible, his voice would get even
I can
lower.
see that. I can hear that.
Right? And these 3 and 4-year-olds with their eyeballs were huge listening to him. So just had to tell you that little story. But that kind of stuff, just understanding more about who we're referring business to. I know that when I give somebody a referral to Nat, he's going to take care of them as if they were his kids or his family.
So Barry, you mentioned I had the spotlight today, so I had an opportunity. I had a 5-minute opportunity to talk more about what I've done, and I've had the opportunity in the past. I've talked about different aspects of real estate and just different things. So today I decided to share just 3 transactions that I had gone through, 2 good and 1 that didn't turn out well. The best transaction that I've ever done. One of the it was a struggling single girl down at Waverly, Virginia, didn't have a lot of money. And one of the things that made that one so special was when we got close to closing was I had 212 folks, had one title company that was willing to drive down to Waverly, and 6, the girl didn't have a car. And then the local contractor, I said, hey, here's a set amount of money. You need more to fix everything that's there, but this is what you have. Fix it like your daughter was going to live there. And he did. So those are relationships that you can't just call up and talk to a receptionist on the phone and say, hey, this is what I got going on. You need to go to those deeper levels, and I think that's what we get in 212.
I think what we're going to do, we're at 11 minutes right now. So we're going to wrap this one up. I want to ask you to do a second segment, like a part 2. This is pretty exciting. I don't do a lot of part 2s. But I really want to know, I want to share how people can learn about 212. Can they visit? What are the rules? And what specifically industries are you specifically looking for right now for the referral train? And on the way out of this podcast, I will tell you, I'm sitting in front of a bottle of McCormick's Grill Mates that was from your seasoned real estate professional. So between Nat and Stacy, you guys are geniuses on marketing. And I got brown sugar bourbon Grill Mates, of course, from McCormick, and Nat knew McCormick's is an accredited business up in Baltimore. So you are the man. And then I'm walking out with sourdough bread in my Jersey accent. Tell me about this company real quick.
So Rubicon Farm is a local farm. Some young guys started it up, concerned about where your food comes from and knowing exactly what's in it. So part of it is branched in King William County, where they have chickens and honey, and then their cows and their other things are out in the Montpelier in the Hanover area. Yeah.
Is he the 212 group or not yet?
He is not. This was his first 212 meeting.
That's what I thought. He was just visiting, but I'm glad he brought bread and eggs.
Yes.
Well, with that, we're going to sign off, and thank you both, 212 Referral Train and Barry Moore at the Better Business Bureau. Thank you.